All right, boys and girls, we are here with Mr. Juan Martinez, Executive Director of Joya de Nicaragua Cigars. Welcome, man.
Thank you very much for having me,
Coño,
brother. It's been a long time.
I know, so many years that we've been friends and worked together, and this is the first time you come to the office. So
I do, yes.
So thank you for coming, and thank you for bringing
having
these
me.
smokes. This was, we'll get to this later, but
Yes.
holy mackerel, that's delicious.
Thank you.
So before we really get into it, on the outer show, we smoked the Antano CT,
Yeah.
and we loved it, as ratings have shown, and that cigar has done incredibly well. So, but I wanted to talk about how did the brand Antano, which is a brand synonymous with strength, right? Strong as balls, and the whole ad campaign, and really, whenever anyone would smoke that cigar, it was like, it was powerful.
Yeah.
And so how did that brand become the brand that got the CT, the Connecticut, which is, a knockdown version of the blend? So what was the thinking around that, and how did that go?
So Antano, in Spanish means yesteryear. So this is the oldest interpretation of Nicaraguan tobacco that we have. It was developed by my father and the team in 2001 after the boom. Back then, until 2000, we only had one brand of cigars. It was Joya de Nicaragua Clasico. And after the boom, they decided to start playing around with other forms and shapes of blends, right? And that's when they started experimenting with a pure Nicaraguan puro, which is what Antano is. So Antano, the original one that's been around for a while and that many people know and love, it's a cigar that's made purely with Nicaraguan tobacco fillers and binder from the same farm in Esteli, and the wrapper is from Jalapa, the same source of tobacco. It's a powerhouse smoke. People know it because of its strength and its full body. And a few years later, my father developed sort of a follow-up to that, which was the Serie C, which was a strong Connecticut. The problem back then is that they did not communicate it properly. So this was a cigar, a Connecticut wrapped cigar that was fuller than a traditional Connecticut, yet milder than the traditional full-bodied. So the full-bodied smoker didn't like it because it was a Connecticut, and the mild smoker didn't like it because it was more powerful than usual. This is 2005, right? This is 18 years ago.
That was a Serie C.
Serie C. Yeah. It didn't do very well, as most people don't. They never knew it.
Honestly, I've never even seen it.
Yeah, no. It spent like 2 years in the market, and then it went off. It didn't do well. But the problem wasn't the blend. It wasn't communicated properly.
Yeah.
So fast forward 15 years, and here we are. Antano continues to be our horse in the United States, our leading horse, the most popular brand that we've had. Even as we've come out with newer brands, newer renditions of Joya de Nicaragua with Joya, the Joya family, Obras Maestras, Antano continues to be our most powerful brand in the United States.
So you'd call that the flagship brand?
That would be in the United States our flagship brand. Not only for us, but also for the industry as a whole, because it was the first truly Nicaraguan puro to come here, and that was, even if I say it, it sounds a little bit presumptuous, but it's true. It is the cigar that started the trend for Nicaraguan tobacco. So remember that back then, Nicaraguan tobacco wasn't as popular as it is today.
No,
this is 2000, 2001, 2002. And this was the first full-bodied cigar coming out of Nicaragua. So it started a trend in a way. So after that, we had Antano Gran Reserva coming out, which is the same blend with older, more vintage tobaccos. And then we have Antano de Arco Rojo, which was a super-bodied cigar that it's more of a niche product, a super-bodied cigar. So we decided, how could we develop a product that could, in a way, appeal to not the traditional Antano smoker, but get us there, in the sense of delivering a fuller body. And of course, we are in the U.S., so we have a lot of regulations to worry about. Back then, the FDA regulation and the whole grandfather thing of cigars, that you couldn't bring any new blends because of it. So we decided to rediscover, in a way, the original Serie C, but in the Antano family. So basically, it's the same core blend as the Antano with a Connecticut shade wrapper. We wanted to have a fuller interpretation of a Connecticut shade. Everybody wants to do that. We felt that we could do it successfully. And here we are in 2017, working on many, many blends, trying to figure out the way to capture the essence of Nicaraguan tobacco, fullness of the Nicaraguan tobacco, with a milder wrapper. And we couldn't get it. The reality is that there is so much that a Connecticut wrapper can give you because of its thickness, because of its, the characteristic. So we were trying. We wanted to have the fullest Connecticut shade wrapper there. Until Mario, Mario, he's the head of factory. He came down to us one day, guys, this is the typical example of white man can't jump. There's so much height that you can get with, the white. He's a basketball player, so the reference played well with him. So we decided to go with that blend that even though it's not as full in strength as the original Antano, it does deliver that richness that you want, yet with the subtle notes of the Connecticut wrapper. And it ended up being a hit. It was named #1 cigar the year it came out by Half Wheel, which is a publication that we respect, and everybody loved it. Because it wasn't as intimidating as the original Antano, but it was delivering that richness that it has.
Yeah.
So it has the best of both worlds without being skewed to one or the other.
Yeah, I think that's a cigar that bridges that gap, right?
Yeah.
It's everyone that I have given that cigar to. Normally, like when I'm playing golf or hanging out with somebody who maybe is not as cigar crazy as we are.
Yeah.
I try to bring some milder things, but I don't like bringing so mild, because I want to be able to, I want him to enjoy it, him or her to enjoy it. And I want to be able to give them an experience that maybe they're not used to, because when you're a novice, you get either flavored cigars or you get very, very mild cigars. Yeah. And so that cigar is like a bridge to that next level.
Yes, it is.
And so, man,
it's not by design, because we wanted something much fuller than that. It ended up being the perfect gateway for those people who want richness without the powerhouse of the traditional Antano.
Yeah, I think you guys hit it out of the park with that blend. Obviously, the sales figures show it.
Yes.
The ratings show it. Half Wheel showed it.
Yes.
So congrats on that.
And the truth is that even as we that are in the industry don't want to, or at least don't see it most of the time, the majority of cigar smokers continue to gravitate to some sort of mildest medium body. Not everybody's smoking the fullest
Of
thing.
course not. We don't have to go very far. The guy that normally sits in this chair, Ivan, he'll tell you every time, like, I'd rather smoke something milder than that. And he smokes cigars for a living. Every day he smokes cigars.
Yeah.
For the panel, for different things. We're pairing, we're doing all these things, smoking cigars every single day. And that guy prefers to smoke a milder cigar.
Yeah. So just let me add that the beauty about Antano Sete is that it helps us showcase the attributes of both the Nicaraguan tobacco in the fillers and the contributions that the wrapper gives you to the smoke. In the U.S., there's not such. This is not a big issue, but outside of the U.S., most cigar smokers have been told historically that the wrapper doesn't play an important role in the cigar.
Yeah.
Down here, we know that's not true.
Of course.
But around the world, people who smoke Cubans, they only have one wrapper, so it doesn't make a big difference. But when you play with different wrappers with the same core blend, you get a magnificent array of flavors, strength level. That diversity that Nicaraguan cigars, Honduran cigars, Dominican cigar, that's a great something that the Cubans don't have, because they play only with one tobacco from Cuba, supposedly, right?
Yep.
The rest of us, we can play, and we have that openness of experimentation and creativity with the blends.
That's a great segue into the cigar that we're smoking, right? Because this has a Mexican San Andres wrapper.
Yes.
That is outrageous.
Yes.
I mean, I am in love with the cigar. This is the first time I'm smoking it.
Yes.
You gave me one at PCA,
yeah.
And you told me, put it away in your humidor. And I listened, and I put it away in my humidor, and I didn't go back and get it.
Well, good discipline, my friend.
Yeah. So, man, this is the first one I'm smoking, and I'm loving it. I love that it has that really nice sweetness, but it has some like red pepper.
Yeah.
That's back there, and the earthiness is smooth. It's really well done cigar.
So let me tell you the story about this cigar, and
So let's name it first.
Yeah,
This is the Cinco de Cinco.
This is Cinco de Cinco. This is our newest release. It's coming to U.S. retailers in a couple of weeks. It's actually shipping this week from Nicaragua.
So because this show is going to be dropped probably next, so more or less when is that? That's
end of October, early November. It should be in humidors around the country. So Cinco de Cinco, it's a play on the 55th anniversary of Joya de Nicaragua, but it's actually not only about that. It's a green label that reads Cinco de Cinco. It's more of a 5 out of 5 in terms of rating, but we'll get to that in a little bit. The green, it's emerald green because not a lot of people know it, but the emerald is a gem of the 55 years. So when you get to 55, that's the gem that you need to be wearing, right? So this is why we use the green. It's part of our Obras Maestras family, which is our higher-end celebratory family of cigars, each one celebrating or commemorating a particular milestone from the foundation of the Nicaraguan cigar industry to, so on and so forth. So this time, and this was a couple of years ago, we're in the middle of the pandemic. We're already thinking about the next anniversary, this next milestone, in a very turbulent times, right? Every milestone is, we look to the back and we talk about all this history and this complexity that has taken us to where we are today. Beautiful. We never see about the future, right? So this is 2021. We're just in the middle of the pandemic. And we don't know what the future holds, And one of the things that we missed most during the pandemic was people coming down to the factory. We used to hold, and you know this, you came a couple of times, cigar safaris. We had thousands of people in the last 10 years coming over and visiting, enjoying, learning about tobacco, getting their hands dirty in the fields, playing with the leaves, blending their own blends. Basically, living the experience of cigar. And it was fantastic. And here we are, people not being able to travel. We don't have any visits. So what are we working on now, So we, instead of thinking of the traditional way that we do things, that is generally blending a cigar that we like, we decided to go a different route, which is let's take the database that we actually have of more than 2,500 blending sessions that we've done at the factory in the last 10 years. Since we began doing Cigar Safari together with Drew Estate in 2008, we've had thousands of people, right? And each person that came had their blending session and their own personal blend done at the factory with Nicaraguan tobaccos. So we went over those databases and we went to look what were the most popular tobaccos that people wanted to use for their own personal blend. This is not a co-op. This is not a partnership that people selected their blend. This is us getting inspired by what people actually wanted.
Yeah.
And the tobaccos that we're using here are inspired on that. So the most popular tobacco that people used in their blending sessions were the Mexican San Andres Negro wrapper, a Nicaraguan binder, and the fillers that come from Estelí, Condega, and Jalapa, the typical Nicaraguan fillers, distributed in a way that our maestros, our master blenders, decided to blend, right? So that's the inspiration on this cigar. So in a way, more than paying tribute to our history, it's paying tribute to the people that were involved. And we have, cigar smoker, retailers, distributors, and media from all over the world that participated in these spaces. So this is 5 out of 5.
Right, so you're basically saying that cigar was blended by me.
Yes, inspired by you and the other 2,499 people that came to do this.
Well, I'm not going to say it that way. Yeah. Whenever someone tells me how good the cigar is,
you blended that
I'm
cigar,
telling
man.
them that
It's
I blended
your cigar, man.
Exactly. Yeah. But no, congrats. Or you should congratulate me because it's an amazing blend.
Yeah, congratulations, man. You know your stuff.
So this cigar, this is available everywhere. Every retailer that so it's not limited in any way?
It's not limited, right? No. Here in the U.S., it's going to be available at every cigar shop that carries Joya Nicaragua and any premium handmade cigar. Yeah, we're making it available to all cigar lovers. And maybe let me segue a little bit into Joya Nicaragua towards the future, because as many people know, and we spoke about this in the pre-game, that it's the oldest factory from Nicaragua. We have a rich history, and we've talked about a lot about that history. But the reality is that we came to realize, especially during the pandemic, that who cares? Who cares that we are the most Nicaraguan cigar and the original Nicaraguan cigar and the jewel of Nicaragua and the spirit of Nicaragua and all this? Because ultimately, it's not about us. And we came to this realization in the middle of COVID. We were sitting at home realizing that how does the future of a brand like ours see itself? What is the future? And we started engaging more and more virtually with people in these virtual lounges. We did hundreds and hundreds of events online, and we decided to shift. We decided that we owe ourselves not to our history, not to our past, but to our present and to the people who really appreciate the work that we do. That is basically sharing the talent of the people, the blessings of the soil and the land, work it out in this weird shape of a cylinder without any adulteration, without any chemicals, flavorings, additives, and bring it to you to be enjoyed and to be appreciated by yourself alone or in the company of your people, of your friends, in your celebration, in the lounge, of that sharing. So we realized that the value of what we do doesn't lie on our history and our past, but on being able to bring to you, cigar smoker, cigar aficionado, cigar enthusiast, cigar lover, whatever you want to say, to bring you that experience that fulfills your day. In the case of the middle of the COVID, when the future seemed bleak, we are giving people a sense of satisfaction in a world of uncertainty. We are all sitting there in the same situation all over the world, smoking our cigars, working from home, not knowing what the day is going to bring, next day is going to bring, but this is bringing us together. And Joya de Nicaragua is not for every cigar smoker, and that's the reality. We have a particular way of working our cigars, but it is for a person who knows, who appreciates the flavors, the aromas, the complexities that Nicaraguan tobacco brings. We call it for those in the know. So basically now everything that we are focusing on is not about ourselves. It's about the people. And that's also one of the reasons inherently in our brand why you don't see my name or anybody of our teams, not my father's, not my family name in the brand, because it's not about us. It's about, first, the brand existed before ourselves and it will exist beyond ourselves, but it's about the cigar smoker all over the world, and this product gives us something that very few products in this life give us, this sense of satisfaction, camaraderie, sharing, without being affected in our senses.
Correct.
Because
it doesn't change you.
It doesn't change
talk
you.
about that all the time.
Yeah.
What other product can you enjoy that enhances conversation without changing you?
Yeah.
Right? Because we can have, like we've been having, like we had earlier, some bourbons, and if we start doing that and we keep doing that at the same rate that we're smoking, then it's going to change us. Yeah. And we're going to have a very different conversation in a little while.
Tell me, when was the last time that you spoke with someone that said, "Oh, I went to a bar and I got drunk and I ended up having a lot of new friends," and never.
Brilliant conversation. No, you don't remember anybody.
Never. You never end up having you might have, a fling or a relationship, but when you go to a cigar lounge, wherever it is, wherever in the world, you end up building relationships with people from, different backgrounds.
Lifelong friendships that are forged, smoking a cigar in a lounge with a guy you never even met till that day. So that's the beauty of cigar smoking, and that's the beauty of what you guys and everyone else in the manufacturing space.
And that's the beauty of what you guys do, because you transmit that. Because we make the product, but if we don't have the proper message,
I also blend cigars.
You also blend cigars. Yes. Stay tuned. But you guys transmit that, and that's why we value the work that you guys do so much, and you do it in a very, beautiful way.
Oh, thank you.
Not only you share the experience, not only the magazine, but not all of this. This is how we get our message out there, and this is how people understand what we do, why we do what we do, and what basically is the difference. And let me, if I may, gravitate towards the point I was making before we started the conversation about this emergence of new smokers.
Yeah, I was gonna segue into that because what you were just saying, it dovetails beautifully with that point. So tell us how you sort of came across this phenomena.
Well, we knew it. We saw that the irony of the pandemic for us was that in the middle of a respiratory,
a respiratory disease or condition or whatever it was.
where at the beginning we all thought that our business was doomed and that was the end of tobacco for...
I sold a house because of it.
Yeah, imagine that. Bad decision in Miami, man.
Exactly.
At that time.
Yeah.
But it ended up being the complete opposite. And nobody was ready for that. Nobody was ready for cigar smokers to be smoking more at home, at work. And now a new authentic generation of cigar smokers to come up in. We've always spoken about this new generation of cigar smokers, but it came to be because of as a result of the pandemic, right?
Yeah, we always get, right? Historically, we've always gotten new generations of smokers, but the pandemic definitely hit an adrenaline shot.
Yes.
Right? And so it accelerated that, and it broadened the scope of cigar smoking. It showed you what it does, right?
And I would ask your listener, give a like or whatever heart you give in this, whatever platform you're going to be hearing is, if you're smoking between 2020 and today for the first time, or that you picked up.
Yeah, if you started smoking cigars as a result of that extra time we all had during the pandemic.
And the discovery, the internal crisis that a lot of us had of reflecting of what the value of life is. A lot of us went through this crisis of what is enjoyable, where should I spend my money, where should I spend my time, and cigars ended up being one of those hobbies. And you're seeing it all over the world. Yeah. It doesn't matter where you are, if it's Brazil, if it's Mexico, if it's Singapore, if it's China, if it's the UK, or if it's the United States. Everybody had this awakening process that benefit cigars, which is fantastic. So
of course.
You see it in the numbers, but you see it in the streets too. We have partners all over the world, and everybody's saying the same thing, that cigar smokers are now younger and are willing to learn and to investigate and to appreciate the hard work, the amount of effort that goes behind making every cigar. Like you have a great collection of liquors here that nobody else has. You pride yourself of having this collection.
Yeah.
The same happens with cigar lovers now. So I think that's fantastic, because it also forces us to be better. To be now open to,
of course,
to open our eyes, our ears to what people want.
I think that in addition to just the reflection and all those different things, new smokers came online. In addition to all that, retailers, some of them were one of the earlier places to open legally or illegally, right? Mm-hmm. And so it was one of the things that you could do.
Yeah.
Right? And all you had was time.
Yeah.
And so especially young people who don't have kids, and by young people, I do want to clarify that we are still talking about above. It's what the market is. Now it's at 25 and older.
Yes.
Right. So we're still talking about, when we say a young person, it's not a young, kids are not into this.
No. And let me clarify, because this is not something that one brand or one company did. This is a global phenomena. It's a demographic phenomena. It's not only exclusive for cigars. It's also for liquors, for example, for beers and for many other.
And a psychographic phenomena, right? Because it's a particular type of person.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's that introspective person that does want to have camaraderie and have conversation with other people, but wants to have these good conversations, doesn't want to just get into the BS.
Yeah.
And so it is a particular demographic and psychographic profile that gravitated towards cigars at a younger age than perhaps they would have. Yeah. Right.
And the great thing is that this happened in the best possible moment for cigar smokers, because the amount of option of high quality cigars available today is like never before. Yeah. Right? You have such a great selection of cigar makers, cigar creators, cigar artists, some of which don't even own factories, but they are great creators. And the selections that you have today, the cigars that you have today are on average much, much better than they were 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not only about marketing. It's not only about how you get the cigars to the people, how you message. It's actually the quality of the products that's ultimately what it matters. So the options that new cigar smokers that want to learn, want to appreciate the amount of information available there, it's the best possible moment to start smoking cigars.
Absolutely. And speaking to that younger demographic and the camaraderie in cigar shops, you guys have some packaging that you do.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. I don't think that there's any other, I haven't seen another cigar company kind of commit to this, putting games inside of cigar boxes.
Yes.
Right? That's such a cool thing. It started with the Shut the Box, and I thought that was neat. I had never even heard of that game. Yeah. And then I found myself playing it like a lunatic here in the office when we got boxes from you guys. And then now you have that other one, the Power Shot, right? It's called Power Shot?
Power Play. Power Play slingshot play. So I think three things came about in that. One was a very intimate reflection from our side on, you know, once the boxes are empty, unfortunately, most of them are thrown away. So much effort and love and dedication goes into this packaging
and trees.
You know, and trees. Yeah. That's something that we need to work on. Hint, hint.
Yeah.
That's for the future. But, you know, it's a shame to, 20 count box emptied, it goes to waste. The second thing is that the reality is that most people smoke cigars for and about having fun in a way, enjoyment.
Of course.
And there's always games involved, some form of
Every
game.
cigar lounge has a chessboard.
Exactly, a domino table or whatever. Poker is, traditionally related to that, but generally something that you can play with. And lastly, it was something very personal that we wanted to bring fun to people too, through our products. And Shut the Box was the first limited edition special edition that we did. It was a great success. And this year we're coming out with Power Play Sling Puck, which is basically another table game in which you reuse the box and you play with someone. There's always this interaction that you want to foster.
Yeah, it's never on your own.
It's never on your own. It's about this camaraderie that you already have, but that you want to, foster even more.
And just to be clear, the brand that gets that is the Antano Gran Reserva, right?
So this is actually the two brands. So it's like a contrast. You have the Antano Gran Reserva and the Antano CT, 10 cigars of each in one box. So each box brings like a different side. So the red and the yellow or the golden one. So you're the yellow side and I'm the golden or the red side, and you play one against the other. So it's like contrasting the two cigars, the two Antano blends between each other.
And so how do people find, if someone's interested in that, how do they find that particular?
So it should be in.
Does it say like the?
Yeah. It's a special packaging. It has a special Power Play. In every cigar shop, it's gonna be available. There's no exclusivity. It's also gonna be. It's actually hitting right now in the end of October. It's already landed in the U.S., so it should be available. So it's gonna be a great Christmas gift, by the way.
That's cool.
Because it's a beautiful packaging that you don't throw away. It's a collector's item that we invite people to share and bring home or bring to their man cave or to their lounge to play and to interact with their friends and family.
And I keep asking where these things are available and things like that, because you guys launched a couple years ago the Joya de Nicaragua Club de Amigos as this is like a special retailer designation.
Yeah,
right?
It's like a retailer loyalty program in which we bring back love or give back love to those retailers that historically have been great friends and amigos. That's why the name we use. Amigos in Spanish is friends. That have supported our brand for many, many years. So obviously you need to have a certain set of requirements. We have close to 300 stores around the country this year. And they have the privilege of getting special things that we don't make available to anybody else. So we have special cigars, both brands and sizes. So, for example, the Antano CT Lonsdale that you were smoking earlier, that is exclusive for Club de Amigos. So if you want to smoke that cigar, you have to go to your cigar shop that's a Club de Amigos. If they are not, you have to ask them to become a Club de Amigos, by the way. Yeah. Club de Amigos, Joya de Nicaragua. And they have access to special items, special swag. We have special events happening in those particular shops. And they become sort of our more deep and thorough partners here in the U.S., and that's also opening up for the rest of the world soon. So you have Antano Sete Lonsdale, you have Numero Uno La Taché, are both cigars sizes that are exclusive for Club de Amigos, and now we're very proud to bring back to the United States the Joya de Nicaragua Clasico Original, which was our original brand, the first brand of Nicaraguan cigars to come into the market. It was the official cigar of the White House during the 70s, and it's our best sold cigar outside of the United States. So it hasn't been in the market for almost 15, 16 years. So we brought it back exclusively for Club de Amigos. So this is a phenomenal daily smoke. It's more in the milder segment of strength, but it's very accessible. So it's the typical, daily smoke available for people only in Club de Amigos. So this is a benefit that our friends at that program have.
All right. So, dude, that's cool. I love that. I think that loyalty programs and anything that you can do to help the retailer gain an edge, that brick and mortar retailer that does support you.
Yes.
Anything that you can do to help them is obviously huge. So congrats on that.
And whatever cigar lovers and cigar smokers can do to support their local cigar shop is also greatly appreciated, because that's where, the magic happens.
That's where the magic happens.
That's
exactly
where the magic happens. And the magic, in essence, is being able to share, connect, become part of this community of cigar lovers that, although obviously you can enjoy cigars by yourself, but the great value of this is this community.
Of course.
The community that, the friendship that you develop. And we invite people to continue coming to your local cigar shops, to your local tobacconists, however you call them in your region, and support them, because they do a great effort in representing our products and sharing the love for our product.
Man, thank you so much for hanging out.
Thank you
for these amazing cigars. Honestly, this is I love this one of my new favorites.
Thank you, man.
From you guys. So thank you again, and much success, blessings. Say hi to your dad for me.
We will.
Thanks for watching Cigar Snob on YouTube. If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe. There's a lot of content on our channel. And we also print a magazine, so subscribe to that at cigarsnob.com. But in the meantime, catch you on the next one.